Famous Athletics.
Yeah.
So
Famous
what do you say?
Athletics?
Yeah.
Athletics. So
Been ahead of my peers, just used to pedal the slowest. Now you pedal the fastest in a circle of motion. Fame moved up in weight, ran out of opponents, so it's time to.
The Famous Athletics.
In the building.
In the building for that weigh-in.
PSA, a PSA. Let's get a PSA going for anybody who think this ain't the dopest channel on the planet. Revert your mind. It's time to give you some verbal exercise. Stretch your mind with Famus from FamousAthletics.com. Now, a lot of fans and a lot of people seem to believe that Keith One-Time Thurman is sweet, that Keith One-Time Thurman is easy pickings, that everybody who just made a name at welterweight can come in and beat Keith Thurman, or he shows no heart, or he's lacking the capability. At the end of the day, I'm going to let Keith Thurman speak for himself, but I'm going to say this. Any of the top 5 guys in the top welterweights right now are all threats to each other. So if you guys truly believe Keith Thurman can get ran through by Terrence Crawford, I need you to sit back, get out your feelings for a second, and really think, Keith Thurman is that easy? Do you think Terrence Crawford is that easy for Keith Thurman? Do you think these guys are just going to run through each other like bread and butter, you know, or a hot butter knife slicing some butter? Do you really believe that? Let's get out the fanboyism and let's be for real. Do you really think Keith Thurman is just going to run through Errol Spence? Errol Spence Jr. is that weak of an opponent? Do you really think Errol Spence Jr. is going to run through Keith Thurman and run through Terrence Bud Crawford and run through Sean Porter and run through Danny Garcia and run through Ugas and run through everybody that they see? Now, Errol Spence Jr. is going to run through Mikey Garcia because there's levels to it and there's weight to it. But with that being said, Keith Thurman is no easy pickings for no man. Ask Danny Garcia. Ask Sean Porter. Like I said, Sean Porter went to the hospital after he fought Keith Thurman. Danny Garcia was still in denial. Danny Garcia was never the same fighter after that first loss. Keith Thurman may have had injuries, but that's in the past. We're talking about what's coming up now. Neither of the top welterweight guys are easy pickings for any of them. I'm going to keep it at that. I'm going to leave it at that. Keith Thurman is still a threat, whether you want to believe it or not. Now, the way he takes his time and the way he executes things, that's on him. I said this before. I said this a while ago. He's a student of the game. No one can dictate Keith Thurman's moves at all. Only him. Better yet, Keith Thurman, you can speak to the people and let them know what's on your mind.
Keith, how do you know you're still the same guy?
Because I wake up as Keith Thurman every day, baby, you know? Nothing's really changed here. And really, being a champion for me is all right here. Nobody controls what I do right here. My level of focus, my drive, my desires. And the beautiful part about boxing is, yeah, there's all that talk, there's all that hype, but I just love to scrap, baby. You, me, and the referee. That's what I live for, and that's what I die for.
I heard Sean Porter making a statement that it's unfair that I'm the mandatory. It's unfair that you call yourself champion without beating me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear that. I got business, and it doesn't matter who has that belt. I told Sean Porter in Fox Studios, don't lose, because you'll get a rematch with Danny. You know what I'm saying? You can get that Danny rematch. You lose, I'm going after my belt. I'm going after Ugas. I want my belt.
So at the end of the day, much respect to everybody who puts on gloves. I respect every fighter, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not just going to say, yeah, Errol Spence Jr. every time Keith Thurman name come up. That is corny. That is... Come on, that's that man fan stuff. If Earl's your favorite fighter, that does not mean he don't have no competition, or anybody in there can't pose some danger to him. We got to cut this out. He's not the only fighter at 147 pounds. He is the top smoking gun there as far as the name-wise, but we don't know who's the best until they all face each other. I was before saying Earl Spence Jr. runs through everybody. Now I look at it from a 3D lens. Let's be real. Let's be realistic. Keith Thurman is still a threat at the end of the day. Earl Spence Jr. cannot fight himself or just walk through all the top welterweights. No, he cannot. Not easy. Every fight ain't going to be easy. If he does win, it's going to be some tough fights. You know what I'm saying? Whether you believe it or not. So at the end of the day, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to give everybody their credit. I'm going to let everybody keep moving how they move until they face each other. It is what it is. We not here to complain, but we here to get y'all to stop being man fans of man and be fans of the sport, and which is boxing. So just remember, everything's still a sport. So where's my sportsmanship award? And just like that, Famus is go.
The biggest, the baddest, and the best. Famus.